Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Browns halftime show. Halfway to the end of the season, folks. The Texans ahead 24-14 in a game that's not even really that close. So, what can I tell you? You're seeing it with your own eyes, and congratulations to the Texans. They've come out prepared, and they know what our defense is, well, maybe supposed to be doing, but there's so much missed plays by the defense that it's it's breathtaking watching Greg Newsome stumble around out there like a drunk and watching their receivers consistently getting behind our secondary. Unfortunately, this is the Browns road team that we've seen earlier in the season that will not win. And let's be honest, when we give people credit and give Texans all the credit, but this defense not prepared to play today. And that's got something to do maybe with Jim Schwartz saying he wants to be a head coach somewhere. It doesn't look like the same defense. They don't look like they have the same energy. And I do blame Jim Schwartz for shooting his fucking mouth off. That's the truth. He didn't have to say a goddamn thing. He could wait for the phone to call, the phone to ring and answer the call, get his agent working or whatever. This hurt the defense, and the defense is not playing the way they're capable of playing. No pass rush whatsoever on the quarterback. Myles Garrett is invisible except for jumping off sides once. Koromoa is still Koromoa. Greg Newsome just flat out sucks the big one. And right now, it should be, in all seriousness, 31, because Nico Collins was wide open on the busted coverage that Ronnie Hickman fucked up. And you have that. I don't know what else, to tell you. And I'm not going to even talk about penalties. I think the Texans deserve to get calls. I think they're the home team. I think they're playing better football. I think that they should pass interfere, and I cheer them for that, because to the victor goes the spoils. They're outplaying us. And there are no excuses, except they want it more. They're hungrier. And we've given up all this passing yardage. I mean, it's unbelievable that you're looking at a situation where CJ Stroud, where he's at right now, is 11 of 16 for 236 yards. And the little screen pass to the tight end, Okoronkwo and the defensive end were, the two guys were rushing the quarterback, and it just left him wide open. And he puts one move on one guy who goes flying past him because of bad tackling, and he outruns the rest of the team. It is what it is, and it's been a fun season. One of these teams has to win, and I explained this on the show just yesterday. And the team that comes out and was more prepared will win, and that's what's going to happen. And, to call out individual players, it's a team effort when you win, a team effort when you lose. And the bottom line is the defense didn't show up. We weren't prepared. And the coach of the year is not Kevin Stefanski. He's standing across the field with the Texans. And that's the honest truth. He has prepared his team immaculately. Defensively, they're doing a good enough job. Offensively, they are slaughtering us, and there is no stopping them. The way the Browns are playing is just lackluster. We hope for a better second half. They're going to go in and score. I don't see any any signs that the Browns defense is putting them in under any pressure whatsoever. The guy's got all day to move out of the pocket and throw the ball, and there's 5-yard separation with the receivers. It's remarkable. And that's just knowing what the Browns are going to do. It's an overly aggressive scheme. They've watched their film. The coaches have done their job. Bravo to the Texans. And, it's like we said on Friday, they're an organization looking to find their way after a couple, 4 really tough years. And the Browns are an organization still trying to find their way, because this will hurt. This will hurt in the worst possible way, because, all this publicity that the Browns got is going to boomerang on them. And it's going to be, well, it was just an illusion. It's not that Flacco is playing a bad game. It has nothing to do with that. He's 15 of 19 for 172 yards. But the defense can't do anything, and we can't run the ball. 24 yards on the ground. And the Texans have 50 yards on the ground, and we're just giving up points and yardage, big chunk plays. So, it's people are saying, I'm not going to watch the second half. Of course, I'm going to watch the second half. I'll be back right after the game. But you don't deserve to go any further. And this is the other thing I wanted to mention on this halftime program. You see how the team comes out and how they perform. And if they can't beat the Houston Texans, rookie quarterback, rookie head coach, they weren't going anywhere to begin with anyway. That's the way I look at it. And it would only get harder from here. And every game that they would play would be on the road anyway. And if this is the best effort that they can give on the road, then they would gotten beaten the next game and gotten clubbed like a baby seal. That's unfortunately the truth. And again, everybody, say what you want to say in the chat room. It has nothing to do with Deshaun Watson. It has to do with the Houston Texans. Houston Texans. They're outplaying the Cleveland Browns. You can play the race card all you want. You can say whatever you want. Has nothing to do with him. Has nothing to do with Joe Flacco either. And the Browns put up enough points to be able to say, hey, we're going at a 28-point a game pace. The defense just didn't show up. They weren't prepared. And obviously they knew how to attack this. They've run plays that have gotten the Browns to expose the overly aggressive side. And what's happening is, amazingly enough, after this incredible season, the busted coverages have come back to haunt us. And letting guys run right past them, not knowing who's going where on the field. The communication is bad defensively, and it's unfortunate. And I don't think the Browns will win. I don't think the Browns deserve to win the way they're playing. I think the Texans deserve to win. It's a 1-game season. What the Browns need to do coming out in the second half is something they've shown none of. They've got to put pressure on Stroud to force him into making a mistake. So far, not even close to making a mistake. All right, that's the first thing they have to do. They got to get him off the field, too. They've got to find a way to sack the quarterback. Not even close. Not even close in the first half. So, if you don't have 3rd and 12s and things of that nature like the Browns have at home when they've thrived this season, then you don't have that turnover possibility. And they don't have a big running game, but it doesn't seem to matter because the play calling and the plays that they're running are perfectly called, perfectly schemed against a defense that obviously, after seeing us earlier this year, they're just knowledgeable about what we're doing. And again, that's good coaching and it's good execution on their part. So what I can tell you is things happen in streaks. And, if you can get a turnover and get the ball in the end zone quickly, well, that's one thing. But I have a sick feeling that coming out onto the field in the second half, the Browns are going to give up a score and the game will be over at that point. Um, you know, uh, it's all, and Myles Garrett, not the same guy in the second half of the year that he was in the first half. Let's be honest about that. He's not the same guy. And he's being handled. He was being handled by Tunsil one-on-one. And Tunsil's an old guy. He's a good football player, but he's an old guy. Myles Garrett would not be held down by that guy in the first half of the season. But injuries take their tolls. And we saw Batonio limp out of the game. We saw on the first cross pattern of the long cross pattern that Amari Cooper re-hurt his foot. Right now, and it's not the Browns offense. I mean, Njoku's done well. Everything that could be asked of the offense, they're basically doing. It's just the defense. And that's going to fall on Jim Schwartz's head. And I hope that this dissuades teams from giving him a head coaching job, because he doesn't deserve one. Based on this performance, he can say what he wants and he can point fingers at guys who are breaking coverage. These mental mistakes, the rookie team is not making them. And the team that has people on it being coached by players who have been to the Super Bowl and won Super Bowls is making all of the mental errors. Well, if the game isn't over yet, and I'm going to go back and watch the second half, I'll be back after the game to talk about the finals of this and maybe to bid farewell to the post-game shows. Let's hope it gets better, folks. I'll see you after the game. Until then, hasta la vista, Pasture Heads. See you after the game.